Alrighty, well, hello and welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy Affairs video. Today we've got the information on Datacron set number 15. So apparently it's called Together as One. The stats, good grief, they really made those like zoomed in this time around instead of zoomed like freaking minuscule. Got crit chance, crit avoidance, accuracy, armor pin, offense, and critical damage. And then obviously starts repeating at the higher levels. They really need to put like a bar between each one. Pretty good spread. Armor pin, first one you can roll can max out at 50%. Excuse me, but why? Or is this backwards? No, let's see. No, this is the correct order, or a 1, 2, and then 4, 5, and 7, 8. Good grief. Okay, so not a horrible spread of stats this go around. Alignments. Good grief. Now I gotta zoom in a little bit. We got dark side and light side, pretty much the same. Yeah, they're both the same. So, whenever dark side or light side allies evade an attack, they gain offense up for a turn. At start an encounter, light side or dark side allies would gain 15% max health or max protection for each dark side or light side ally. So that's actually probably going to be like the go-to role for a lot of these Datacrons. Whenever either alignment evades an are evaded by an enemy to gain accuracy up for a turn, and they inflict evasion down for 2 turns on that enemy. Well, it's 2 turns for accuracy up and evasion down. I read that wrong. Both at the start of the turn, for each enemy with fewer than 40 buffs, that ally gains 30% potency until the end of the turn. So, I mean, maybe if you have foresight bouncing around, like on Jedi teams or anything that inflicts blind or well, fear wouldn't do that, would it? Basically, any way you can avoid attacks, offense up one won't be bad. But like I said, the stacking max health and max protection is really going to be the go-to one for that. Okay, now for the alignments, but the factions, we've got Gungans, Galactic Republic, Inquisitors in the First Order. I like how they actually broke them apart into each of their own little thing, like, oh, Gungans here, and then, they're all, divided up instead of being one big blob. Alright, Gungans, whenever... First one they have is whenever Gungan ally is damaged for the allied shield generator loses a stack of plasma shield, you remove a stack of recharge from that allied shield generator. Whenever the allied shield generator uses plasma pulse, you dispel all debuffs from all Gungan allies and inflict plasma residues on all enemies for a turn, which cannot be resisted. If an enemy is already inflicted with a plasma residue, you remove 100% CM, and then you daze, stagger, and stun for a turn. Damn, that's pretty damn good and deadly. Whenever Gungan ally deals damage to this debuffed enemy, they also deal 5% max health damage to that enemy, and that damage cannot defeat enemies. Okay, extremely good. Gungans, whenever they grant buffs an ally, that ally gains 10% EM. Whenever they target one another with an ability during the turn, they gain 5% defense, max health, max protection, and often stacking. First time it dropped below 50% health, they gain damage immunity for a turn and a health steal up for 2 turns. And whenever debuff on an enemy expires, they gain 2% potency and tenacity. Now, this is a stacking, but I imagine that means stacking, right? Until the end of the battle. So, honestly, the big blob one right there, the debuff expiration, would be really good for the Gungans because of the extra potency and tenacity you're gaining. The stacking defense, health, and protection offense won't be bad. But I feel like the first one is the best one. The Galactic Republic, whenever Galactic Republic allies gain protection up, assist. Oh wait, not gain. Whenever they have protection up and they assist, if there are no enemies with protection disrupted, inflict it for 1 turn on the target enemy, which cannot be dispelled or resisted. While Galactic Republic allies have protection up, they have plus 50% accuracy. 50% accuracy, counter chance, critical damage, and ignore taunt. Ooh, damn. Oh, that's gonna make Padme teams disgustingly good. And even like, if you're not running like Keller and Beck with Qui-Gon, that'd be really good. Maybe. Well, you gotta have protection up. So JMK also would benefit from this if you're not running Kit. So, good grief, that's nasty. At the end of each return to recover health protection equal to 50% of the amount enemies recovered that turn. Whenever they deal damage to an opponent and there's no ability block, they inflict ability block. At the start of the turn, if non-Galactic Legend allies, Galactic Republic allies have 50% more TM, damage they received is reduced by 75% until the end of the battle. Jiminy Christmas. That's good for like the fucking Bad Batch and clones under gas. Good grief. That's gonna... Okay, well, not all the Bad Batch are Galactic Republic looking at you, Omega, but that's still really good for clone troopers and just some miscellaneous teams. Whenever a Galactic Republic ally attacks their turn, they have a 25% chance to remove 10% TM from that target. Honestly, this protection up, assistance crap, and extra counter chance, critical chance, crit damage, and ignoring taunt is going to be great for Padme teams. I don't know about Queen Amidala. It depends on if you put original Padme Amidala on that team as well. The health and protection recovery is going to be nasty-ish. I mean, it can be annoying just because, you know, you're regaining health and protection, but, like, it's constant depending on how much you recover on your turn. And then also the reduction of damage they receive if they have 50% more TM. That's going to be nasty as well because, you know, we've had to deal with it in the past with the Rebels. I remember that one being a pain. I think... Who else was boosted by that one? I can't remember if it was just Rebels or who else, but I remember whenever we faced it last time. That wasn't fun. Now, for the dark side factions, starting off, we got Inquisitors. Whenever they inflict a stack of Purge, they gain 5% defense, offense, and tenacity stacking for a turn. Ooh. So if you start off with like 6 stacks in the beginning of the battle, you're getting a nice chunk of offense, defense, and tenacity. Whenever a stack of Purge is consumed or dispelled on an enemy, expose them for a turn. Whenever an Inquisitorious ally attacks an enemy inflicted with a stack of Purge, another random Inquisitorious attacks, dealing 5% more damage per stack of Purge, and then they inflict another stack of Purge, maxing out 6 on a target enemy, which cannot be evaded. That's nasty. That's nasty. So you basically get like kind of like an Imperial Trooper kind of thing going on there, but not really because it's based off of Purge instead of just, oh, you can assist because you're an Imperial Trooper. But that's nasty. Stacking offense, defense, and tenacity for a turn. Yeah, it's a turn, but with like the amount of Purge you can just get rolling, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, whenever they deal damage to an enemy and they're not marked, you inflict marked. Whenever an enemy is defeated by an Inquisitorious ally, that enemy cannot be revived. Not bad, not great. Whenever you deal damage to someone, and they're not blinded, you inflict blind. And whenever Inquisitorious allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all other allies gain 50% TM. Honestly, that's not great. I mean, maybe if you do like this one, if you just have like one Inquisitor on a team, like in an unaligned Force user team or another Empire team, maybe that'd be fine, honestly. Because like if you put like 9th Sister or 2nd Sister in a lineup with like Lord Vader or a Seer team or something like that, then maybe it'll be decent, you know? There's some options there, but that first one with the stacking offense, defense, and tenacity is really something alright. Now for the First Order. For some reason, the First Order ones... yeah, we got First Order again. So, the big one here, whenever a First Order ally scores a critical hit, the leader gains 10% offense stacking, maxing out at 200% until the ending counter. Okay, if the leader scores a critical hit, they gain an additional 10% offense, and all other First Order allies recover 15% health protection. So that's going to be good. Aside from like Kylo with like Hux or Crew or Captain Phasma, whenever the leader uses an ability to remove 1% TM from all other First Order allies, whenever a First Order ally loses TM, they gain 7% critical damage stacking for 2 turns. Okay, whenever a First Order ally attacks a stun enemy, they deal 10% max health damage to that enemy, and this damage cannot defeat enemies. What in the hell? And whenever the leader is not damaged during the enemy's turn, if there are no allies with damage immunity, a random First Order ally gains damage immunity for a turn. Whoa, that's gonna make Kylo teams nasty. Even if you're not doing SLKR teams, like doing that with like Hux or Phasma might be good, because like Phasma teams not recover, but they get a lot of foresight if you get the Omni on, what was the First Order TIE Fighter pilot? Yeah. At the end of the turn, First Order allies gain defense, pin up, and offense up for a turn. At the start of the turn, they it's the 400% offense boost. while losing their defense. While losing 50% defense. That could be annoying. Whenever they stun an enemy, they gain speed up and offense up for 2 turns, and expose the enemy for 2 turns at the end of that turn, which cannot be evaded. And then at the start of the battle, first order allies gain retribution for 3 turns, which cannot be dispelled. So the first order one definitely has a lot of viability, like just random viability. Like the big one here with Kylo will be like SLKR is gonna be good. Defense pin up and offense up could probably go pretty good with Hux maybe. But like, yeah, that's these honestly aren't the worst level 6 rolls we've seen in a while. They're all over the place, but they're really not bad. They're really odd. And now for the specific, like the character specific ones. Every single Gungan has a role. So we're gonna start off with Jar Jar. Whenever Jar Jar inflicts a debuff or is inflicted with a debuff, he gains 10% TM. Whenever Gungan ally assists Jar Jar, they shock the target enemy for a turn if they are inflicted with plasma residue. Otherwise, you apply a stack of frustration for a turn. At the start of each Gungan ally's turn, they inflict accuracy down and evasion down on the health enemy for a turn. If all allies are Gungans at the beginning of the battle, whenever Jar Jar evades an attack, random enemies' cooldowns are increased by 1, and random Gungan allies' cooldowns are decreased by 1. Not bad, not bad. I won't be able to ever use that because by the time I can even get Jar Jar, this Datacron might be gone. So, Boss Nass's, whenever he dispels a debuff from himself, he and the weakest other Gungan ally gain 5% max protection, maxing out at 200%. And so the encounter and removes 1 stack of recharge from the allied shield generator. Whenever the enemy is inflicted with plasma residue or frustration, they're blinded for a turn. Disgusting. The first time the allied shield generator's plasma shield reaches 0, it recovers 10 stacks of plasma shield. Okay, so that's kind of annoying because, well, I mean, it's going to depend on how you want to run these Gungan teams. Obviously, you're going to want to run full Gungan teams, but like in 5v5, you'd be obviously running the Jar Jar one. But like in 3v3, where are you going to put Jar Jar? More dependent on that. Captain Tarples, whenever an enemy uses, another ally uses an ability on their turn, he assists, dealing 50% more damage. No thank you. Boomadiers gains 15% TM when other allies use a special ability on a turn. Okay, so Boomadiers going to be going quite a lot then. Whenever the Lynx is dealt damage, they reflect 20% of it back to the attacker as true damage, and that cannot defeat them. So pretty much like the same as like the Shore, Chrysanthemum, and all the other ones we've seen on tanks over the last year or so. Now here comes the $300 price tag to Datacron for Padawan Obi-Wan. At the start of the encounter, he gains 100% counter chance till the end of the encounter. Whenever he invades an attack, he recovers 20% health and protection. Whenever he attacks out of turn, he deals true damage to the target enemy, which cannot be evaded. Also, a side note, I know I said in the Padawan Obi-Wan can't reveal video, I wasn't sure how they were doing it, but they said in the Q&A that went up with the Datacron stuff that his will be like the Gungan ones. So if you want to get him started up at least early, then you'll have to spend crystals. And also, whenever TM is removed from an enemy, Padawan Obi-Wan can only gain Foresight for a turn. So there's a way for him to recover health protection. At the start of each Galactic Republic ally's turn, if Padawan Obi-Wan has a stack of heal over time, he gains 20% offense. And if he has a stack of protection over time, he gains 20% defense pin for a turn, doubled if there's an active maiden decoy. Ew. So if you got heal over time, 40% offense. If there's a protection over time, 40% defense pin, as long as the handman decoy is there. Otherwise, it's 20% for both. Whenever another Galactic Republic ally falls below 50% health for the first time, or is defeated, he takes Bone's turn, resets all of his cooldowns, removes 10% TM, removes an additional 10% TM for each relic and fire level that ally has from all enemies, which cannot be resisted. Okay, so if you have, say, a Relic 8 Padme Amidala or Queen Amidala, then that's 80% TM plus the base 10, so that's 90%. But if they're Relic 9, it's 100% TM removal. That is ridiculous. We've got 3 more Galactic Republic ones, but these are ones you can actually access without having to spend a dime. Padme Amidala is probably the best out of them. but it looks like Tech is being called out specifically for like Bad Batch stuff. Padme's is whenever a Galactic Republic ally with Courage for protection up uses an ability. If there are no enemies provoked, a random enemy is inflicted with provoke for a turn. Whenever another GR ally recovers health protection, Padme recovers double that amount. Okay. Whenever an enemy targets a non-Galactic Legend Galactic Republic ally with protection up while attacking has turn, the damage they receive is reduced to 1, and the attacking enemy is exposed for a turn. Oh, that's gonna make killing Padme teams with Darth Treya incredibly difficult. Unless you can cleanse off the protection up with Scion or have them isolated first. Whenever a non-GL/GR ally resists a debuff, they gain a stack of courage, and whenever they are inflicted with a debuff, they gain protection up 10% stacking and then tenacity up for 2 turns. So basically, you have to have a constant way of getting rid of all their protection up to even kill them from the looks of what the Padme Amidala one. Tex is actually not bad. It's not great, it's not bad, but it's like, you know, it's good if you have tech. Well, I mean, who doesn't have tech ready at this point? Whenever you use an ability, they deal 50%. They deal bonus damage equal to 50% of their potency, maxing out at 100%. This effect will only trigger if tech has more than 0% potency. Speaking of, how much potency does my tech have? Let's see. So the tech... Oh. Yeah, I think he'll be doing bonus damage. I had to look. Yeah, he has 150, basically 151% potency. So yeah, he'll be doing bonus damage. Luminara has one. The first time she's defeated, they are revived on 100% health and gain protection over time. 75% for 2 turns and then takes a bonus turn. Not great, not bad, just kind of there, I guess. It'll be kind of annoying if you don't have Luminara worked on. The Inquisitors have 4 separate ones, all for the sisters. Reva's a third sister, you know. Whenever any character is defeated, she gains hatred for the rest of the battle, or until she's defeated. While third sister has hatred, she has plus 100% counter chance and plus 50 critical damage. At the start of her turn, all Inquisitorious allies with Taunt dispel all debuffs on himself, recover 20% max health and max protection, and then gain 20 speed for 2 turns. So basically, if she's not killed quickly enough, then she's going to be having hatred for a lot more frequently than you want to. And it's pretty good also being able to dispel debuffs on yourself, recover health, protection, and gaining speed for 2 turns, you know. Ninth Sisters, at the starting encounter, all Inquisitorious allies gain plus 200% max health and are immune to ability block. She deals 20% bonus true damage based on her max health with her basic ability if the target enemy is inflicted with a purge. If any enemy has 6 stacks of purge when Ninth Sister would be defeated for the first time, she consumes all stacks of purge from a random enemy with 6 stacks of purge, recovers 100% max health, max protection, and removes 50% TM from all enemies. The only issue I see with Ninth Sisters is you'd have to like sacrifice third sisters, or if you're running this in 3v3, it won't be an issue because being immune to ability block is really nice. Having extra 200% max health is also really great for the Inquisitors. And then, I mean, honestly, it's not bad, but it's not something you'll use all the time in 5v5, but like in 3v3 or maybe some oddball seer teams, you'll find usage there. So we'll see. Second Sisters is whenever she deals damage to an enemy, you remove 25% TM from them. That one's honestly not bad because Second Sister is not always used with the Inquisitors and is not tied directly to the Inquisitorious. So you could use her in a Lord Vader team or a Seer team. So you've got options there. Seventh Sisters is also pretty good. At the start of her turn, she dispels all debuffs on herself, and then she recovers 5% health for each debuff dispelled that way. So the Inquisitors honestly have quite a nice little variety up here. Ninth and Third Sisters are probably the ones you really want to aim for. Second Sister, if you want to throw in a Lord Vader team, will probably prove to be annoying because of that TM removal, but as long as like the team isn't immune to TM removal, it'll be good. Now for the first orders, there's a couple big ones and then 2 small ones here at the bottom. First order Special Forces TIE pilot. They have plus 100% potency. While an allied Supreme Kylo Ren is active, First Order Special Force TIE pilot cannot be defeated. While First Order allies have advantage, they ignore taunt. Okay, so you're going to want to push Special Forces TIE pilot up to Relic 5 then to make this work? And ignore Kylo's? Whenever the ally in the leader slot or First Order TIE Special Force TIE pilot is damaged, while they have advantage, he stun an enemy for a turn, which cannot be resisted. Whenever an enemy is stunned, the Special Force TIE pilot's abilities gain 5% bonus damage, maxing out 200%. Okay. He and the ally in the leader slot gain 10% max health until the end of the encounter, and if the ally in the leader slot is SLKR, he gains 5% ult charge. Whenever a stunned enemy is defeated, they cannot be revived. Okay, and then the allied in the leader slot gains a bonus turn, and the allied leader and the Special Force TIE pilot recover 100% health and protection. So now I had to push this guy up to Relic 5? Holy crap. That's insanely good. First Order Stormtrooper at the start of the encounter gains 100% max health and max protection, and the allied leader gains 50% armor pin. They spelled penetration wrong in offense. Whenever stun expires or is dispelled from an enemy, the First Order Stormtrooper gains 10% defense and tenacity stacking, and the ally in the leader slot gains 10% critical damage stacking until the end of the encounter. Whenever another First Order ally is critically hit, the First Order Stormtrooper gains protection up 25% stacking and taunts for 2 turns. Whenever First Order Stormtrooper uses the Order Relentless, he dispels all debuffs from all First Order allies and they recover 50% health. If I remember correctly, isn't that his Forced Taunt one? I'm pretty sure it is because he doesn't have a lot of abilities on him. Yeah, it's the Taunt one. So gain 25% scheme and defense up for 4 turns. Oh damn! So yeah, that's actually really good. They really packed these random First Order characters with good ones. And then poor Captain Phasma, whenever an enemy is stunned, she takes a bonus turn. SLKRs deals 5% more damage per relic amplifier level on all allies present at the start of the battle. But why would you want to do that whenever you can just go do Special Force TIE pilot and make sure you get health and protection recovery whenever someone dies, getting a bonus turn with SLKR, having an unrevivable, like no revive if they're stunned. I mean, yeah, that's the caveat, is they have to be stunned, but like, holy crap. This honestly isn't the worst Datacron set we've seen in a while. Is it kind of all over the place? Yes, but is it the worst thing on the planet? No, but there are some definite ones that stand out. Yeah, we'll have to see how they all shake things up, I guess. But anyways, let me know which ones you want to go for in the comments below. Thank you for listening to me ramble for like the last who knows how long, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. I hope you have a good rest of your day.